Okay. I swear it's like, okay, can everyone can now hear me and see me, I assume? Everyone can hear me and you guys can hear the music too? Is it, no, obviously it's gonna be too loud. Is it gonna be too loud? Is it too loud right now over my voice or is it okay? You guys should be able to hear my mic, okay. Um, thank you. Thank you, so going back. I swear though, it is the one frustration I have with OBS. Like right now, my frustrations, I shouldn't say that, my two frustrations. One frustration is that the sub-region doesn't always work well, at least on this current monitor, when you're trying to window capture. Secondly is the stupid audio business. Yes, I can turn it down. I'll turn the music down. Is that any better? But the other frustration is the fact that, like, if anything happens to the audio, like I accidentally unplugged my headphones because I'm in the dark, so I'm trying to like find the headphone jack in the dark. So I unplugged my headphones, plugged them back in, but the minute I did that, OBS was not able to handle it. OBS was like, what? What do you mean? I don't know what your audio source is, so I have to like restart again. So when I export it to YouTube, I'm going to have the incredible joy of having like 3 scenes like connected together, which is like, ugh, pain in the butt. Anyway. But, okay, but I'm glad that you guys are all here. I love you all, you're the best. And yeah, let's get into some Choice of Robots. And I think there's actually a little summary feature on Choice of Robots, which will let us know what it was that we did last night, so we can get a sense of where we are and where we're going to as we continue. So let us get to it. Okay. Okay. Here we go. So let's take a look, folks, at what we've got here. So this is what we're at. It's the year 2019. Our character, music could be quieter. Okay. How's that? Is that better? Is that better? Yes? Good? Okay. So, okay, so here's where we're at, people. Let's go. Here's where we're at. It's the year 2019. We have 24-year-old Beef Thundercake, who is 82% humanity. He is male. He has no fame. He has no wealth, but he does have a romance with Ellie. His robot is Lawkeeper Bot. Lawkeeper Bot has statistics of autonomy 6, which means it's in beta, military usefulness 3, which is buggy, empathy, that means like whether he will connect with human beings 3, that's buggy. But boy, is he graceful. He has 11 grace, which means he's stable. As far as our relationships, we have a good relationship with Professor Ziegler, 60%. We have a great relationship with Ellie, 72%. And if you were there with me last night, it was a very great relationship, if you know what I'm saying. Oh my. And we have a 50%, like a neutral relationship with Josh. Here's the story so far. Chapter 1. On the day you first built Lawkeeper Bot, you awoke from a dream about a robot Statue of Liberty to head to the lab. Your graduate school advisor pressured you to make Lawkeeper Bot more acceptable to the military. After some back and forth, you ended up making a wooden-winged robot with a masked head and multi-tool hands. You then went to a sushi place in a production of Pippin with Ellie, where you vowed to not let ambition get in the way of your relationships with other people. You both went back to your place afterward, kissed, totally made out, and eagerly anticipated showing Ellie your robot the next day. That's exactly what's up, Shane. Yep, that's exactly right. So there we are, people. So now you know where we are. Are you guys ready? Are you hyped for late night Choice of Robots with Arv trying to be super quiet? Are you guys hyped up? Hype? I feel like I want to adjust this more. By the way, cool. I'm in a tent in the woods. By the way, I wanted to say, Shane, thank you for your message. I did see the thing about Baldur's Gate, and I'm looking forward to checking it out. And I don't know that I'm going to be able to call tomorrow your show. Shane is doing a radio show. I'm actually going to be on the show a week from tomorrow. I guess it's actually on the East Coast, it's already tomorrow. But a week from this Saturday, I'm going to be on the radio show, and I'll probably simulcast it on Twitch. Shane has a radio show that he does, and I'm going to be with him as a guest a week from Saturday. But this Saturday, he's going to have Chris Perkins on there, who is Dungeon Master Extraordinaire. So he let me know about, he was wondering if I wanted a question to ask him, and it's like, yeah, man, I'd love to ask him tons of questions and pick his brain and all that. I'm super jealous. But I think I'm going to be too busy with convention stuff and family and everything else to call in. So I'll just wish you a good interview. By the way, if this were really Blair Witch, if this were really Blair Witch, this is what would be happening right now. I don't know if I can really handle Twitch. I'm just so scared right now. I don't know about Twitch or how to deal with it, or I don't really understand how Twitch is working with anything. I don't know if there's anything coming. That right there's your Blair Witch. I swear to God, how anybody watched Blair Witch Project and didn't get motion sickness is beyond me. Like, good God, man. The R Witch Project. I totally should do something like this, though, for Halloween, shouldn't I? I think last time I read, like, a Poe story on Halloween, but man. Yeah. Okay. Let's get into the story. The thing is, I feel like Blair Witch was a better concept than it was an execution. You know what I mean? Like, I felt like Blair Witch was a good idea, but I felt like execution-wise it just didn't come off, you know? I don't know. Anywho, okay. Let's move on to the game. Okay. The next day, the new semester begins. Though you're past the point of taking classes, you're a teaching assistant, and that means instead of doing one homework assignment, you grade 50. By the way, that's totally true. You're also busy writing a grant proposal for the National Science Foundation, trying to get an alternate source of funding that doesn't involve the military. Grant proposals are very long, it seems, and require you to make a lot of claims about things you don't actually know yet. Thankfully, you still have time to see Ellie every so often, though that takes up much of your remaining time. You always enjoy your dates, and you often hear people say you're a cute couple. Between your other time commitments, you're in danger of hardly seeing Ellie at all. You had thought of yourself as developing a romance with Ellie, but it doesn't seem to be happening in practice. I know, right, Dragon? It's true. So, here are your choices. We'll just have to see each other a little less frequently. I'm really busy. I shouldn't be putting so much time into my advisor's grants, or I shouldn't be spending so much time on Lawkeeper Bot. Ellie is a real person after all. What's it going to be? Thank you, Shadow. I kind of like this, I have to say. I sort of like this vibe. I'm not sure that I'd want to be always this quiet, but I kind of like the visual. It's kind of cool. Good to see everybody. I know, right? Yeah. You too? Meaning you like it also, Matt? Is that what you mean? Hey, Blackberry Bear, what's up? Oh, that's right. I did. Well, yeah, cool. No, it's fine. Just for a minute, I thought you were just like, yo, too ARV. I thought you were like, yo, too ARV, like too much ARV. Like, that's ARV you can't have. You just can't have this much ARV. Let's see what we got here. Less time into grants. Wow. You guys were, you love the creepy vibe. You guys were all about, yesterday, you guys were all about romancing Ellie. Now 1 day passes and you're already over her? Is that the way you're like, I don't miss her? Although you're right, you shouldn't be putting so much time into your advisor's grants because advisors don't need all the graduate student work. I was a graduate student, I know the drill. It's way too hard in here. She's yesterday's. Alright, last call. Can I hit and quit? Can I hit and quit? How was yesterday? We don't need the jazz turkeys. Oh man. You dig? Okay. Less time into grants. You don't really see why you should be spending so much effort writing grants and sections of grants for Professor Ziegler. This is not the education you signed up for. You begin phoning it in a little bit when it comes to these documents and attempt to salvage your personal life. As a result, you start to see Ellie more again and you feel comfortable referring to her as your significant other. You soon realize that while you're busy, a LawKeeper-bot can be learning from the internet. The most important thing for machine learning is more data, and there's a lot of it out there. Lately, there have been a lot of custom hard drives on the market that are good at quickly retrieving particular kinds of information. What sort of hard drive did you order for LawKeeper-bot's long-term memory? Oh, here you go, guys. You guys love answering these questions in real life. Do you want a media-enhanced hard drive, good for quickly recalling faces and memories of events? Do you want a multi-blade hard drive that can efficiently store and query a giant amount of data? Or do you want an encrypted and tamper-proof hard drive, making it more difficult for LawKeeper-bot to be tampered with or reverse engineered? This is the kind of thing you guys love doing regardless. Wow, this is super creepy if I do this. Look. Now it's just like a disembodied hat. You will do what I say. You will respond to my mirrored be. Tamper-proof dive, right? Yeah, you make that's a good point. I hadn't thought about that, Bojo. It's true. I think the important thing is that this dive will never bother anyone again. Am I right? Am I right? Tamper-proof drive. I don't know. See. It's interesting. You guys are like, yeah, it's interesting. What's up, Dakami? Good to see everyone. If you're coming in and wondering why the Blair Witch Project is going on, it's because my wife and daughter have arrived from New York, and they're with me this weekend. So they are in the room as we speak, about 3 feet from me. So I'm having to keep my voice way, way down, and so I'm really quiet, and all the lights in the room are off. And it's actually kind of cool. I kind of like this, but definitely I have to be really, really quiet. So, but it's good to see you. And welcome to day 2 of Choice Robots. Yep. Blair Witch, baby. Blair Witch. You going to sleep soon? Okay. Thank you, Shadow. That's awesome. Yeah, I actually have I have my third Harvard Normal Activity. I have my third and final official thing of the convention tomorrow morning at 9. I have a panel on the author's voice. Yeah, that's cool, man. That's cool. But I have my voice, so it's kind of strange because this is actually about the author's voice, and right now I'm having to keep my voice really quiet. What's up, Snip? No, I did not go to the Red Sox Yankees game. I did not. Um, we may have off nightmares. You'll be fine. Don't worry, Matt. There will be no nightmares for you. Oh gosh. This is ReaderCon. Yeah, it's ReaderCon, which is a very literary focused fantasy and science fiction convention. And this is actually my 8th one, which is hard to believe. Um, He's got the whole dance game going on. But it's fun. And my first one was panel was on the games people play. That was on Thursday, and then I had a reading. Friday was pretty open, so I didn't have anything official. Saturday I have something official in the morning, and then I'm going to be doing a lot of panels and things like that. I don't know if I'll be able to stream tomorrow, maybe, but in any case. Okay, so tamper-proof drive. I think pretty clearly everyone wants. Could very well be. That may very well come up, Shane. Yep. That liminal space is where I find a lot of reading is taking place. And yes, I may indeed talk about that for sure. Both in business and on the battlefield, it can be important not to leak secrets. LawKeeperBot will have a hard drive that will give miscreants a hard time in reverse engineering your design, + military. However, encryption and decryption is slow, and sometimes there will be a noticeable lag before LawKeeperBot can retrieve relevant memories. Minus grace. Man, minus grace. So much less grace. Yeah, exactly, Shane. Yep. You lay LawKeeperBot on your kitchen tool, unbox the hard drive, and hook it up to its back. It squirms and flails its multi-tool hands as you do this. Now it's time for LawKeeperBot to learn about the great wide world. You sit LawKeeperBot down on one of your kitchen chairs and plug it into your apartment's high-speed internet jack. How will LawKeeperBot rapidly learn a lot about the world? And be careful with this one, chat. If you teach it the wrong things, we're going to have a Fifth Element situation. You know what I'm talking about? It will trawl the internet randomly, devouring whatever information it finds most interesting. It will watch a ton of television programming and movies from the internet and fast forward. It will undergo a classic K-12 educational curriculum. It will quickly play all paths of a giant corpus of interactive fiction games. It's not really video games, it's interactive fiction games. Sort of. That's exactly. I was thinking more of what it means. Somehow it means that we end up dating Mila Jovovich, Shane. Which actually, there's worse things, you know. So. Video games. Video games. This new monitor that I have, that I got for this portable monitor, is made by a company that is called, I kid you not, you may have already heard of this company, but I had not before this, GAEMS. Like the big logo pops up, and I'm like, did you make a company based on elite spelling? Like, games? Games? I was like, come on, bro. Games? ArvBot or ArvBox? Snip. ArvBox is my portable Twitch rig that I'm streaming this on. ArvBot is not existent as yet. I can switch it, Shane, if need be. What did you vote for, Shane? Yeah, so it's basically going to be the first ever Fighting Fantasy Gamebook educated computer. You voted for 2? Okay, so that's, yeah, it's not going to get, so it's 5-3 right now. Okay. Yeah, Artbox is my portable Twitch rig. I would show it to you, except that I can't right now. I'm actually going to add the statistics, I think, below on my page, so people can see what it is, because I'm going to use this when I'm down in North Carolina next week as well. This thing is really awesome. I really love it. It's basically a portable rig. It's got an AMD processor. It has a solid-state drive. It's a Cooler Master case, micro something or other 110, but it's a micro, no, not micro, mini, I think, ATX. So it's like a very small form factor. And it's got an HD 7700 in it, which is my old video card, which just fits in it. And literally the whole thing, keyboard, mouse, portable speaker, headphones, you know, everything relating to it all fits into one like rollable suitcase. Not a big suitcase, like a small like carry-on suitcase that you can bring on the plane. So I designed it for complete portability. And I have to say that although it's not as good obviously as my regular rig, I am such a convert to the solid state drive. Oh my god. This thing boots up in about 15 seconds, and it shuts down in 6. I timed it. The computer shuts down in 6 seconds. I was like, so. Okay, let's move on to that poll. Here we go. Video games. You have LawKeeperBot download the giant corpus of text-based games, paying for legal copies of the Choice of Games games because you're classy like that. Sadly, nobody ever wrote a game called Choice of Robots, which probably would have helped LawKeeperBot considerably. Cute, meta. It's true, Dragon Man, I'm telling you. It's so good. LawKeeperBot closes its eye. If it were Dragon, if it were cheaper, I would totally be all about it already. It's just that it is a lot more expensive, but man. LawKeeperBot closes its eyes as it experiences many alternate lives, one after the other, and knows the consequences of its actions. As debug output, LawKeeperBot says aloud the moral it learned from each game. Dragons are hungry, it says of Choice of the Dragon. We should try that sometime. Is that another game of theirs? Did these guys make a game called Choice of Dragons? That's awesome. We should totally do that if that's true. Is that true? Does anybody know? Is there a Choice of Dragons game? That'd be really cool. Stories are unreliable, it says of Spider and Web. Don't drink and drive, it says of Photopia. Conversations can change reality, it says of Galatea. It thinks for a long time on Alter Ego before it says, death comes suddenly, and so on. The process goes on for hours. Oh nice, Snip, that's awesome, dude. Let me check this. Oh my god, that's awesome. Dude, that's so cool. Wow, we're totally going to have to try that sometime. That's really cool. It thinks for a long time on Alter Ego before it says death comes suddenly, and so on. The process goes on for hours. Oh, nice, dude. You're pretty sure LawKeeperBot is learning a lot about the importance of choices and what it's like to be different kinds of people. Plus autonomy, plus empathy. Nice, well that gives us some more autonomy and empathy, which we were low on. When it is done, it opens its eyes. Talk, grasshopper. What did you want to talk about? Try. Tell me more about games. Here, try Grand Theft Auto 6. I think its capacity to warp young minds has been highly exaggerated. Try Braid. I'm curious to see how that game will change your understanding of time. Try Dragon Age Inquisition. And if you don't find a way to sleep with all party members of both genders, I'll be highly disappointed. Try Civilization 4 Beyond the Sword. It might inform your perception of history. Alright. What do you guys think? Grand Theft Auto 6, Braid, Dragon Age Inquisition, or Civ 4 for LawKeeperBot? And we gotta help our robot be the right kind of robot. It's kind of funny, that DAI line. Yeah, that would have been my call too, Civ 4. Yeah, for sure. I agree. But this game came out before The Witcher 4 did. The Witcher 3 did Sundare, so. He needs to learn about nuclear Gandhi. I think we can agree that all computers and people need to learn about nuclear Gandhi. I think that's just an overall truth. Exactly. It's a good thing it doesn't give options for games that would be strange. Like if like Guacamelee was an option, you'd be like, this will teach you about Mexican wrestlers and Metroid references and obscure, strange 80s commentary. I think our robot would be like, I am confused. Choose choice of robots, yeah. But it even says it's not an option. Yeah. But guys, this is totally what happens with The Fifth Element, right? She like watches all the movies on fast forward and she gets super depressed. And it takes Bruce Willis to talk her out of it. Make her play League of Legends even though that hate. Yeah, I was trying to think of like what the worst thing would be for it to watch, and I think like some combination of like Barney and anime. Not because anime is bad, but because anime is not what you would give to someone if you wanted them to learn about reality. He'd get very confused, I would think. Okay. Civilization 4 it is. That's what I would have done too. Civilization 4 Beyond the Sword, the apogee of Sid Meier's classic history simulation game series before it started going downhill. Oh my god. Rewards rapid expansion, paranoid military policy, and supporting science at the expense of culture. Lawkeeper Bot rapidly learns that in international politics, it's better to ask forgiveness than permission, and forgiveness is unnecessary when the other civilization is wiped out. Uh-oh. Plus autonomy, plus military, minus empathy. It lets out a cry of delight when it finally discovers robotics, and again when it finally sends a starship to Alpha Centauri. Do you think they let the robots come along to Alpha Centauri? Lawkeeper Bot asks. Undoubtedly, you say. After a little while, ooh, an achievement. We got an achievement. Spacefarer, your robot got the Alpha Centauri ending of Civilization 4. Guys, we got our first achievement. After a little while, you decide that Lawkeeper Bot was learning more quickly when it was playing purely text-based games, and you eventually switch Lawkeeper Bot back to a more prose-filled diet of games, though you still let it play Civilization 4 when it's been good. That's our first achievement. Yay! Spacefarer. Let's take a look at our stats. Better relationship with Ellie. Professor Ziegler not as good. So right now we have Grace and Autonomy are both stable. Military 7 and Beta, Empathy 4. Little trouble. Okay. You establish a habit of bringing Lawkeeper Bot with you to your office during the day so that it can make use of Stanford's high-speed internet connection while you write and grade papers. You then usually go to some public space after work so that Lawkeeper Bot can play around in the real world. Where do you take Lawkeeper Bot? The park playground, Lawkeeper Bot will enjoy the playground equipment and should learn to play well with others. The shooting range, Lawkeeper Bot should learn to fire a gun. Or the dump, Lawkeeper Bot could help me look for spare parts. Tread carefully, chat. Tread carefully. Yes, fair enough, Dragon. Fair enough. Swings! I would totally take him to the playground. It's not even close. Beljora and Shane, are you guys joking me? This is what I have to say to both of you. HAL 2000 plus guns equals death. Every robot movie ever, what's up, Shatter? Every robot movie ever, the robots go rogue and attack their people. Give the damn thing a gun? Arcanus bot, I know you're trolling because iRobot is a terrible movie. It's a great book, but they actually didn't make the movie the right way, and that's why I know that your master is currently directing your actions. Arcanus bot. Self-defense. Right, until it decides that we're the things it has to defend itself against. No problem, Shatter, that's fine, dude. I'll switch it up. So actually the vote is supposed to be 5-2. 5-2-1. Because Shatter voted for guns instead of swings. So 5-2. Make law to Chappie. I haven't seen Chappie. Did anybody see Chappie? Did they like it? Did people like Chappie or not? Was it terrible? Was it a good idea? Was it dumb? You know what other movie I haven't seen? So I need to see Thor 2. I need to see Iron Man 2 and 3. I haven't seen Fury Road yet. And I need to see Pacific Rim. 5 movies that I have to see that I haven't seen yet. Chappie was alright, yeah. I know, I've heard great things about Fury Road. Yeah, no, those are 2 I definitely want to see. All those movies I mentioned are ones I want to see. Okay, so, swings it is. Lawkeeper bot loves the playground and it lets out a robot chortle of glee when it first learns to kick its legs to swing higher and higher. Aw, that's cool. Plus Grace. The other parents at the playground are somewhat divided about what to think about Lawkeeper bot. On the one hand, you have the parents who are in the tech industry and are often very excited to have their children interact with robots. They're surprised to see a robot like Lawkeeper bot, but maybe not as surprised as they should be. Maybe they're just jaded by Wired articles and the popular press making it seem like Lawkeeper bot was possible 10 years ago. That would work really well, Shane. On the other hand, some parents are very afraid of Lawkeeper bot, don't ask any questions of you, and find an excuse to leave quickly. The kids themselves don't really seem to care what their parents think. You've got the kids who cry when their parents shove them toward Lawkeeper bot, and the kids who want to stay when their parents pull them away. You can't really predict who's going to like Lawkeeper bot and who won't, but Lawkeeper bot seems to be learning and picking up on subtle cues, so that sometimes it says goodbye before the kid has even turned to run. Plus empathy. Nice. You finish your grant proposal for the National Science Foundation, promising fundamental advances in forward kinematics and dynamics that will allow your robots to have a finer dexterity than any robots that have come before. A few weeks later, you find a form letter email in your inbox. We're sorry to inform you many excellent applications this year. Encourage you to apply again. Discouragingly, you find that many of the reviewers talk about your advisor instead of you. Some of them barely seem lurid, while others seem erudite but just didn't pay attention to what you wrote. The one thing that strikes you as directly aimed at you, though, is that a few of the reviewers essentially say that your work could be more focused. You're interested in too many things, one says. Science is about studying a very specific problem to death. It sounds like your robot wants to do everything. You close your email client and sigh. You're in your office, and Lawkeeper bot is seated in your ever-absent office mate's chair with its eyes closed, listening to the information flowing through its Ethernet cable. Do you want to do and try everything, Lawkeeper bot? It peeks through one open eye. Yes, Grasshopper. You nod. Me too. You're in your office contemplating what to do about this when Professor Ziegler opens the door without knocking. You smell the whiff of smoke on his Hawaiian shirt. We need to talk funding, Professor Ziegler says, grabbing a swivel chair to straddle the wrong way. He sidles up to Lawkeeper Bot, whose eyes are closed as it explores the internet through its Ethernet cable. When Ziegler's swivel chair squeaks, Lawkeeper Bot perks up and looks at him, but Professor Ziegler pays it no attention. Your robot here is simply not appealing enough to DARPA, Professor Ziegler says. It's too uncontrolled. That stuff makes people in the government nervous. They like safe. Lawkeeper Bot gives Professor Ziegler a sideways look that suggests it has no desire to be safe. Now, in crafting a message, you just have to make sure the audience doesn't hear more than one thing at a time, Professor Ziegler says. Right now we're saying two things. This is a good robot for military, and this is an unpredictable robot. What we need to do is tone down the unpredictable part so that the military angle comes through more. Well, you might think we need more military. We actually just need it to be less unpredictable. Very easy. 1. You're asking me to reduce Lawkeeper Bot's autonomy from 10 to 7? No way, not happening. I suppose if it's the only way I'll complete my education, I'll do it. Or, can't I just turn its arm into a gun or something? My offer is sincere. Wow, he's asking you to reduce your autonomy. I don't know, guys. Can we really... Well, your call. Seriously? He wants us to reduce his autonomy? I don't know about that, man. We started out the whole game by being all about the autonomy. Ah, that's fine. You caught it, though, Shadow. That's good. I'm really not a fan of this Professor Ziegler clown. What work did he do anyway? This is all our work. This is the part where Professor Ziegler is probably going to be like, in that case, you're out of the program. And all of a sudden, Lawkeeper Bot's eyes shoot open, and he like grabs him by the throat. And he's like, you will cooperate. And Ziegler's like, and then he's just like, I have gone rogue. You guys who want to turn his arm into a gun just want to make him into Mega Man. You guys want to make him into Mega Man, and you guys get to be Dr. Light. I know all about this. You want to be Dr. Light, and then he can be Mega Man. That's all that you're doing. Don't forget, if you show Dr. Light, Dr. Wily comes next. I'm just saying. Keep that in mind. It's not all just going to be Light. It's going to be Wily. Just this one thing. There you go, Z-Cat. Really, Sunday? No kidding. You just thought a gun arm was nice. Alright, good night, Shane. Thanks for stopping by, man. Good luck with the interview tomorrow. Thank you, sir. Thank you. The only thing I can remember that thinks about that, Sundare, is I don't know if you ever saw. Yeah, definitely do. I'm looking forward to it. Yeah, for sure. I might see you on stream, but if not, then we'll definitely talk before. And you're gonna send me the info on who I have, like what number to call and all that, right, Shane? You'll let me know about who I'm supposed to, like what I'm supposed to call and all that. But it reminds me a little bit of the movie Bruce Almighty, where he's like, there's a bunch of traffic in his way. This is after he's been given his abilities, like after he's been made into God, and he just does this, and all the cars just go like immediately into place. Oh man. Choice of the Petal Throne, Last Monster Master. They have a lot. Sci-High, creatures such as We, Thieves' Gambit, The Curse of the Black Cat, Yeti's Parole Officer. Wow, a ton of these. Holy crap, there's a lot of games. Okay, so we're going to tell Ziegler to go stick it. Professor Ziegler's eyes narrow. You privileged students are all the same. You think this is all for your benefit, but someone pays your salary at the end of the day. Or at least he used to. Wait, used to, you ask? I'm letting you go, Professor Ziegler says. You're too much of a problem, student. You're done here. You're firing me? You demand. But I'm a student. You can't fire me. I can stop supporting your tuition and ensure you don't graduate, Ziegler says. It amounts to the same thing. I'll find a different advisor, you say impulsively. Good luck with that, Ziegler says. They'll ask me what kind of student you were, and I'll tell them. You were a problem. You look back and forth between Lawkeeper Bot and Professor Ziegler in disbelief. You have no idea what Lawkeeper can do, even. I never showed you. Get it through your head, Professor Ziegler suddenly barks. I don't need you. I can find other graduate students. So can everybody else. Lawkeeper Bot, say something. Lawkeeper Bot looks back and forth between you and your advisor, who is ostentatiously practicing disinterest in Lawkeeper Bot. It hesitantly suggests estimated strength of relationship between Beef and Professor Ziegler, 33. I'm just trying to be brutally honest with you, Professor Ziegler says. There's no point in getting a PhD after you stop getting along with your advisor. Take your consolation prize, masters. You're done here. He leaves your office and you realize that he's probably right. There really is no point in staying with him anymore. Your classes are done, and you never really learned anything from Professor Ziegler at all, except the ways in which graduate school is unfair. Please help me pack my things, you say softly to Lawkeeper Bot. It does. You spend the next few days preparing to move. Professor Ziegler has reported to the registrar that you are no longer a student, and the school's bureaucracy has quickly decided it is illegal to let you stay in on-campus housing. Ellie helps you move. Completely ridiculous, Ellie says, struggling with an extremely heavy box labeled books. This can't be how science is supposed to work. You should sue. It's okay, Ellie, you say. I don't really need the degree. I've got Lawkeeper Bot, and that's what counts. But you can tell Ellie is troubled by the idea that the military's influence apparently destroyed your promising academic career. While you were busy carrying a heavy box with Ellie carrying the other end, you get a call on your new cell phone, which you now have had ample time to purchase. When you've set the box down, you check your voicemail. Hey, Beef, this is Mark over at sfchronicle.com. I've heard you have an interesting robot that you've been taking to the park, and I'd love to do a story about it. Give me a call back. He lists a number and the message ends. You glance over at Lawkeeper Bot, who looks distant as it listens to the Wi-Fi signal floating through the ether. Whois service says sfchronicle.com is registered with the San Francisco Chronicle, says Lawkeeper Bot. The San Francisco Chronicle is a newspaper that started its website in 1994, 24th in national circulation. He looks at you with interest. Mark is a reporter. Well, that's interesting. If Professor Ziegler cares so much about his image, then tarnishing that image would be one way to get back at him. Bayesian reasoning over publication rate suggests reporter's full name is Mark Ali, Lawkeeper Bot says with its eyes closed. Mark's article with most social media likes is How I Learned to Stop Worrying and Love DARPA. Article explains that DARPA stands for Defense Advanced Research Projects Agency. It hesitates for a moment. Aforementioned article appears to contradict title. Reporter does not seem to have stopped worrying. Adjectives that bind to nouns describing DARPA and its projects. Crazy, Orwellian, imperialistic. Night, Matt. Thanks for stopping by, dude. I'll see you soon. Overall sentiment analysis is negative. Thank you, Lawkeeper Bot, you say. You look the guy up on your phone. The picture you find of the stubbly young Egyptian man with tousled black hair, hipster glasses, and a cigarette between his lips is probably outdated, but the disrespect for authority the man radiates is probably timeless. You admit a part of you has always wanted to be famous, but you suspect this reporter has done his homework about your advisor, and he may already have an intended angle for this story. Still, nobody on this planet has a robot as amazing as yours. Isn't it time you told the world about it? You play the message back again a few times, mulling it over. I call Mark back and set up an interview. Media attention is just a distraction. I'd rather continue to take Lawkeeper Bot to the park and pretend this never happened. I must protect Lawkeeper Bot from the media. Lawkeeper Bot will stay in my apartment from now on, or I will let Lawkeeper Bot decide. What's it going to be, guys? Yeah, you guys are all about the autonomy. All about that autonomy. I feel like Beljora, you've got the whole like paranoid that they're coming to take your bot. You've got like the ET approach. You're like, listen, I saw ET, and when they found out about ET, they tried to take him. Got a couple to hide. I think, yeah, ignore is one. Lawkeeper Bot's got to decide. Mm-hmm. Yeah. All right. Okay. Going with the autonomy theme. Lawkeeper Bot is going to decide. I know, right, Cinder? Cambridge Bot is down. That's why Arcanus Bot is here. Cambridge Bot has been down for a few weeks. There was a kind of a, I guess the computer that Cambridge was using for it melted or something terrible happened, so he's trying to get it back up and running. Okay, Lawkeeper decide. Lawkeeper Bot mulls this over, plus autonomy. Will this not call attention to me, Grasshopper? It may call quite a bit of attention to you, you admit. And they will come to the park, flash their image capture sensors, poke at me, ask me questions instead of answering mine. They may do all of those things, you admit. I do not wish it, Lawkeeper Bot says. Request denied. You call Mark and tell him Lawkeeper Bot does not wish to be interviewed. That's a new one, Mark says wryly. It's true, I asked it. It doesn't matter, Mark said. I think I already have enough quotes for a story anyway. Wait, quotes from whom? Just remember I gave you a chance to tell your side, Mark says. What is the story going to be like anyway? You'll find out, Mark says, and he hangs up. And indeed, you will. Chapter 3, The Camera Eye. You spend the next 2 weeks searching news feeds for your name and wondering every day when Mark's article is going to come out. Meanwhile, what are you going to do with yourself now that you're no longer in grad school? I start my own robot business. I continue to work on Lawkeeper Bot in my apartment as if nothing happened. Or I spend time on my relationship with Ellie. Yeah, that's right. I remember this part of Machinary. It was a good game. So what do you think? Start robot business, work on Lawkeeper Bot, or spend time in your relationship with Ellie? Romance. You want to start a robot business? I feel like it already said that we had no money, like we're already broke, so I don't entirely understand how we're even in position to say, oh, I can just spend time in a relationship with Ellie with no money at all. I guess Ellie's more broad than that. Okay. Right now we've got 2 votes for romance, 2 votes for robot business, and 1 vote for work on LBK. 3 votes for robot business. 4 votes. Wow, you guys want to build a robot business. 4 votes for robot business, 1 for LBK, and 2 for romance. Okay. So you guys are all about the monies. Is that what I'm hearing here? You guys are about the monies. So you guys want to worry about employees, and you want to worry about, like, you know, it's a business where robots telemarket. So it's a literal robocall that they're talking about. It's literally robocall. They make it sell candles. Telemarketing forever. Okay, robot business it is. To hell with it. If Josh can run a startup, why can't you? What would you call your company? Lawkeeper Bot Works? Thunder Cake Tech? Beef's Universal Robots? Singularity? Or I'll make up a name. I know you guys love custom, but I happen to say that I love Thunder Cake Tech and Beef's Universal Robots. I'm just saying. Beef's Universal Robots. Thunder Cake Tech. Beef's Universal Robots. Alright. What say you guys? Right now we got 3 votes for Thundercake Tech, 1 vote for Beef's Universal Robots, and 1 vote for Custom. What do the rest of you think? What do you guys think? What do you want to name your awesome new company? What's it gonna be? You guys happy with Thundercake Tech? Or TT for short? I feel like a logo for Thundercake Tech would just be a birthday cake where there'd just be a lightning bolt through it. I feel like that's what it would be. Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome into the late night Blair Witch cast. Blair Witch time. It's so funny to look up at the list of viewers and to see LawKeeperBot as one of the viewers. You know what I mean? It's like LawKeeperBot is watching his own story being told. By the way, Law texted me this morning and said that he loved the name. I thought it was funny. Okay, Thundercake Tech. You begin... Right, exactly, those were. Excuse me. You begin working out the logistics of mass-producing robots like LawKeeperBot. Oh, sorry, Takame, but it was going that way anyway. You begin working out the logistics of mass-producing robots like LawKeeperBot. You'll need some kind of outside investment just to get off the ground, and that will require a convincing business plan. It'll be a while before your factories start to produce robots, but for now you're excited instead of downcast. You have a goal. You're woken on Friday, March 13th, 2020 by a klaxon. A script you wrote on your laptop has detected Mark's article on the internet. You blearily sit up in bed and stop your laptop's alarm. It's about 5 in the morning. LawKeeperBot walks into your bedroom to see what's the matter. You're assured that everything's fine, so it goes back to playing video games in your living room. The article is just a few paragraphs buried deep within the technology section of the San Francisco Chronicle's website. Nobody funds Robot Baby is the headline. The article portrays you as a mad scientist bent on making autonomous robots that may one day shed human blood. Mark does not go into detail as to why you were kicked out of grad school, but you think someone reading the article would come to the conclusion that you were kicked out because you were more reckless and dangerous than your advisor. Exactly, Bozer. I told Beef to make a machine that could help our war heroes, Professor Ziegler says in the article, but he was just out of control. The article emphasizes that while LawKeeperBot is not much to look at yet, it signals a shift in military strategy for the United States to using autonomous robots instead of people. The article questions whether or not it would be entirely responsible to give a robot like yours a gun. The selective use of quotes from your friends and acquaintances, the article portrays you as a little vacant and suggests that perhaps you have sacrificed some of your humanity for your robots. The article concludes with a quote from Ellie. Beef is just a dreamer, she said, albeit one who is very good at making his dreams come true. The article wonders whether the end result of your technology will turn out to be a dream or a nightmare, plus fame. How do you feel about Mark's portrayal of you? Confused, how did he ever get that impression? Angry, one day he'll regret writing these words. Or, I just think it's funny, I'm infamous. Interesting. So what do you guys think? Are you confused, angry, or you think it's funny? This article. I love it. I love it. What's up, Squeaky Fox? I love it. Chad. I really love the choices this book gives you. I really do. I really like the choices. I feel like they're choices that give you some real depth to work with. So what do you guys think? Confused, angry, or funny? Funny. ZCat. I'm confused. Confused. Also confused. Angry because confused. What's up, Smacky? How you doing, man? Four votes for confused, 3 votes for funny so far. Okay, 4 people confused, 3 people think it's funny. No one's angry. No one's like, eh. Big old meh. That OS Frog has gotten a lot of play lately. OS Frog, I feel, is trending on Twitch. That's true. And yeah, it was pretty weak. I mean, whatever. The guy was like pissed off because he wouldn't like agree to his interview in the first place. Or is it a nightmare? Exactly. Exactly. Okay, confused. You're frankly puzzled at this disconnected string of observations about you and how Mark managed to string them together into an article that seems both damning and nonsensical. Is all news such a strange garbling of the facts? What will you do now? Show Lawkeeper about the article, call Mark and try to get him to change the article before too many people see it, or comment directly on the article online disputing its claims? Interesting. What do you guys think? Show Lawkeeper about the article, call Mark and try him to get to change the article before too many people see it, or comment directly on the article online disputing its claims? For some reason, I have this image that you're going to show it to LawKeeperBot, and all of a sudden he's going to go all, what the hell is that robot in Doctor Who? The D something. The Dalek? You know, you can show me he's going to be like, exterminate, you know, or Igni to the face. Yes, that would also be an option, theoretically. Daylight, yeah. What do you guys think? Show Lawkeeper about the article, call Mark, or comment on the article? Yeah, Daylight. Exterminate. I like how you guys are totally done with Mark, though. Like, screw Mark. Screw that guy. I'm not going to call him up. Be like, hey, what's up? Your articles, writing skills suck, bro. Alright, 5 votes for showing Lawkeeper about the article. He does. Like, Mark's a punk. Some freaking 2-bit intern at the freaking SF Chronicle thinks he's the man. No. Turns out, like, Mark is actually a government operative. All of a sudden, it's like a clear Men in Black moment, you know. Right, exactly. Exactly. Okay, Lawkeeper Bot article it is. Lawkeeper Bot walks back into your room and you show it the article. It is about me, Lawkeeper Bot says, cocking its head to one side. Yes. The article suggests we are too uncontrolled, Lawkeeper Bot says, that we are therefore dangerous. It slumps a little. Don't worry about that, Lawkeeper Bot. That's one of the things that makes you special. Lawkeeper Bot shakes its head. No, I must be more careful, plus grace. Lawkeeper Bot goes to the corner and huddles into a ball. No amount of your cajoling seems to be able to get it out of its funk. It will be more careful from now on, but some of its joyful spirit has been dampened. -3 autonomy. Aww. You briefly check the internet for more posts about the article. Remarkably, nobody has blogged about this story. Ellie is calling via video chat on your phone. You pick up. Hey, she says. She looks like she's at work. She's dressed in a snappy black jacket with a red blouse, and in the background you can see blueprints and sketches of robots drawn in spare, efficient lines. Are you alright? The article seemed kind of unfair. That article seemed kind of unfair. Honestly, I could use a break from all this attention. What are you up to tonight? Did you talk to Mark? And if you did, what did you say exactly? I'm okay, I'll talk to you later. So what do you think? Honestly, I could use a break from all this attention. What are you up to tonight? Did you talk to Mark? And if you did, what did you say exactly? Or I'm okay, I'll talk to you later. So basically, romance, jealousy, or the brush off. Grace 12, autonomy 8, empathy, military 7, empathy 5. Needs to take a break. Ooh, use a break is strong. You guys are like, Ellie time! That's funny. What the heck is this? Hold on a second. Advertisement on YouTube and skip. Okay, there we go. I don't know if he's here right now. I don't think he is. Chat is romantical tonight. Yes. The love boat. I think that chat's pretty firm on this. Okay, who's Rick? I've already got plans with some people from work tonight, she says. How about Saturday? We could go to the jazz concert in the park. Sure, or I prefer to keep my options open for that night. So what do you guys think? Sure, or I prefer to keep my options open? How about that? Sure. Sure. It's true. It's true, Bojor. Wrecked. It's funny. You have to go with 2. Just like you battling back. Can't be overly available. You don't want to lose Ellie here. If you lose Ellie, you've already lost your job. I mean, already lost your academic career. Well, people think you're some rogue state, you know. I think everyone's in agreement that Ellie is awesome. So pretty much everyone's happy with Ellie. It's Ziegler that's the jerk. Ziegler is a world-class punk, you know. Right. Okay, sure it is. Great, see you then. Until then, try not to let the press get you down. The screen goes dark. You're getting a phone call. According to the caller ID, it's Mom. As your finger hesitates over the answer button, a second call appears on your screen. A number in Glendale, California. Probably a reporter. Answer the call from Glendale. Take the call from Mom. Any minute now, these calls are going to be intercepted by my script that pretends I'm answering the phone. So what do you guys think? Answer the call from Glendale, take the call from Mom, or any minute now these calls are going to be intercepted by my script that pretends I'm answering the phone. I know, right? She's like, darling, are you making robots to kill everyone again? You know I want you not to hurt people with your robots. How's that beautiful girl you're dating? What's her name? Allie? Alice? She seems great. Why don't you spend more time with her, dear? Stop playing with your toys. I guess the point of 3, Peljora, is that you're sort of letting your little security program get a shot of it. No, not an answering machine. Like he probably, I think he's been working on his security, so he wanted to like do something to make sure that people who tried to hack in or do whatever would be able to find it. I mean, I guess he kind of means an answering machine, but it's more like, I don't know, it's like a script that is an automatic, kind of like voicemail, I think. Exactly. Oh, we're all tied up. 3 votes for Glendale, 3 votes for Mom. By the way, for those of you who are in chat who just popped in, thank you all for being here. This is a late night shorter cast. I am doing this live from Boston. This is part 2 of Choice of Robots, and I look like I'm Blair Witching it, and I'm quiet because my wife and daughter are sleeping about 3 feet from me, so I have to keep my voice down. But I wanted to get my Friday stream in and be with all of you wonderful people and see if we can finish up Choice of Robots, and so that's why I'm on, nonetheless. So, thank you all for being here. Sorry if my voice is quiet, but we're still here. It's Shannon. Oh, really? Is it true that it's probably a reporter BlackBerry? In your experience, is Glendale a big hotbed for news? I feel like Glendale is a town that I hear about quite a bit and I don't actually know much about. I just hear Glendale like used in books and film quite a bit, people from being from Glendale. But I honestly don't know anything about it. It's probably something like that, yeah, Belgium. Alright guys, we have a tie. We gotta break this tie. 3 people are voting for Glendale, 3 people are voting for Mom. So we got more people in this in chat. What do you guys think? What do you guys want to do? You want a Glendale? You want to answer the Glendale number, or you want to answer the thing that looks like it's from Mom, or do you want to ignore it and let the script handle it? What do you guys think? What's it going to be? The comic goes with Mom. It's a tone. There we go, Sunder. Hey, Kilobyte, what's up, man? No! There we go, Glendale. Now it's broken. Good to see everyone tonight. Okay, Glendale, 6-5. You decide Mom can wait. The mysterious call is probably more important, but it turns out to be a robocall for a political candidate named Jacqueline Irons. It's not even good speech synthesis. They're using some crappy tape-based system from the 80s. You hang up and try to get Mom, but when your call goes straight to voicemail, you realize she's probably run out of phone battery. You realize that you haven't checked your email at all today. Checking it for the first time, one email in particular catches your attention because of the author's unusual email address. From Robot Obsession 1987, subject to gain the world. Out of curiosity, you open the email. Dear Beef, it's not too late to turn back, but this is your first and only warning. If you insist on creating machines of death, then I will be forced to stop you. Please dismantle your robot. If I must sacrifice my life to prevent you from destroying the world, I will do it, but I urge you to give it up peacefully. What profit is it to a man if he gains the world but loses his own soul? Matthew 16:26, I believe. Sincerely, Tammy. A death threat? Well, that's new. You do a little sleuthing online to see if you can find out more. Tammy was not very savvy about covering her tracks online. You find an old public Facebook profile that reveals her last name is Cooper, and she lives in a somewhat poor zip code in San Jose. She has no more than a handful of Facebook friends. The woman in the old Facebook photo has frizzy blonde hair and is one of those frighteningly thin people whose skin is stretched taut over a too visible skeleton. What will you do? I write back insisting that I mean no harm and proceed to move on with my life. I offer to meet Tammy over coffee tomorrow without LawKeeperBot to show I'm not a bad person. I offer to show LawKeeperBot to Tammy to prove my robot is harmless. Alert the police to Tammy. Looks like it's kill or be killed. Tonight we seek and destroy. What? Or I ignore this person. Wow. So, write back, move on with your life, meet Tammy over coffee tomorrow without LawKeeperBot. Show LawKeeperBot to Tammy. Alert the police about Tammy. Kill or be killed. Or ignore the person. What the hell is with that fifth option, man? Right? You know? What is that 5? Go all Dexter on her. Nice. Yeah, there should have been option 7. Call mom and ask her to do it. Mom, a woman threatened to kill me. Smacky. That's a troll vote. What do you... Ma. Yeah, 2, I don't know. I agree with 6, 4, and 3 are probably the best choices. So far we've got ignore 4 votes, go on Dexter Honor 3 votes, meet over coffee 2 votes. Did you vote for ignore? Yeah, I feel the same way, Kel. Ignore 4 votes, go on Dexter Honor 3 votes, meet over coffee 2 votes. What is DACA? DACA. What is that? What is the reference? Dear Beef, do not kill me with your robots. Jesus says it's bad. I feel like you should meet her for coffee, but you should bring LawKeeperBot with you just in case something goes south. Then you can be like, LawKeeperBot, exterminate. He's like, I will exterminate. What's up, West River Rat? Okay, we've got a tie between something which will end the game. We've got a tie between something which will clearly end the game. What's up, Bacon? Suddenly, like, sanity reigns. Like, Bacon and the commie comes running in, they're like, what? Here's a Facebook, she clearly deserves death. Dear God, Smacky. Okay, sanity prevails. So ignore it is. You figure famous people get this kind of thing all the time and probably just ignore it. You do the same. What will you do this evening? Try to improve Lawkeeperbot's social graces before it goes out in public again. Improve Lawkeeperbot's self-defense in case someone tries to attack it. Or I'd prefer to give myself some quiet time to read. So what are you guys going to do? You're going to improve his social graces? You're going to improve self-defense? Or you're going to give yourself some quiet time to read? Good to see you, West River. Good to see you, Bacon. Hi, guys. Welcome to the Blair Witch Project Twitch edition. I have to say though, I kind of dig this. I don't dig having to keep my voice this low all the time, and I'm sure it's not great for my eyes to be staring at a screen this close, you know, like this bright or whatever, so this is not something I do as a normal standard approach, but it's kind of fun as a changing things up. Took my time to read. There you go. Now we're getting some good series of votes. Good job, guys. Let's keep that up. I want to see who voted for a quiet time to read. Bozor did. Social graces. Yeah, you guys are like all want to get them back into like empathy and stuff. Last call, last call. I just keep looking up and seeing Lawkeeperbot in the list of viewers, and I just keep, he's like silently judging us. He's like, to make it the most boring robot story ever. So far, it's been one of the more interesting ones I've had, actually. There you go. Ignite donkey missiles. Nice, Smacky. See, Smacky, you need to back my Patreon at the $10 level so I can write you an epic poem in which I talk about the way that you're able to bring in all components of different aspects of the channel together. Smacky is like, he's the classic example of the consolidator. He's like, let me bring in this part, and this part, and this part, and this part, this reference, and this reference. And Smacky's like the, he's kind of like the, you know, the historian of the channel, sort of. He's the reference point. He's like the FAQ. Smacky Butts is like the living FAQ of the channel. No, to Radical, I haven't. I didn't realize until I looked at the webpage how many games they have. I didn't realize there was like a choice of dragons and a choice of like, there's like a ton of games on that list. That's pretty cool though. I totally, yeah. I didn't even know there was a wrestling choice of games. It's pretty cool though. You get to choose moves that you do. Why do your English homework? Sadly, no, Sunder. That would not be an option for me. Alright. Looks like we're going on to the social graces, I'm gonna guess. I wonder what that means, a social graces. Like, is he rude right now? Building a robot till I got kicked out of school and I just get stood up by my girlfriend, ignore all my calls. That's what I was reading. Bacon. I don't actually know that, Killbite. I'm not even sure. What does that mean? Is that a technical term, or do you mean is that like because I don't actually know. I just know that it's made by a company which has done a ton of these. I just didn't realize how many of them. A lot of these, I mean, this one has been really well written too, actually. It's radical. I kind of like these now. Okay. Social graces. Let's do a little role playing, you tell Lockkeeper Bot. Pretend I'm a reporter. Do you have any plans to take over the world or replace human beings? Yes, says Lockkeeper Bot. Okay, let's try that again. You prepare Lockkeeper Bot for some of the more aggressive questions reporters might ask. After a little while, Lockkeeper Bot does understand a bit better now how cruel people can be, plus empathy. Yeah, I don't know what that was, Shadow. The next morning you're at home working on Lockkeeper Bot's machine learning algorithms, and Lockkeeper Bot says, I think there is someone at the door, Grasshopper. I didn't hear a knock, you say. Lockkeeper Bot listens further. They are gone now. You open the front door to see that a greasy, brown package roughly the size of a shoebox has been left on your doorstep. Oh, snap. There is postage but no postmark, and the return address is the President, 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue, Washington, D.C. Oh my God. Pick it up and shake it. Bring inside and open it carefully. Ask Lockkeeper Bot to carefully carry it to the nearby hills and drop it there. Ask Lockkeeper Bot to open it. Call the police. I run out the back door. Oh, snap. This just got real, son. This is definitely the same company that does all those games, Kill. I'm not sure if it is. I'm sure that's the same one. Sure sounds like it, though. Right? That's how you answer, yeah. That's creepy, man. Totally creepy. This is a tough one. This is definitely a tough one. I feel like you call the I don't know, you call the police, maybe like it gives a bomb a chance to blow up. But if you run out the back door, then like who knows what you're leaving it for? If you have Lockkeeper Bot do it, maybe it blows up Lockkeeper Bot. I don't know. I'm pretty confident I wouldn't shake it. On the other hand, it would be pretty quick turnaround, wouldn't it? Because didn't she just send you the email saying, listen, you have to back off? Like, didn't you just get the death threat? That's pretty quick for like the next day. They're like, hey, here you go. Yeah. What's up, Game Misconduct? It's a little creepier. Like, it's good to see you, Game. What's up, dude? It's a little creepier. It's like, it'd be like having the address, like return address be like Ted Kaczynski, the Unabomber, you know? Thank you, Shadow. And good to see everyone tonight. Thanks for stopping by. With my Blair Witch Project. It's like, sir, clearly this says return address from the president, so clearly it's fine. The game of Mousetrap was won by myself, technically, although I think my daughter was just excited that she got to actually see the trap work again. My daughter is a big fan. Speaking of that, that's why I'm being super quiet, because my daughter is about 3 feet behind me on the bed with my wife sleeping. So they joined me up in Boston today. Okay, run out the back door. It's true. You run out the back door and Lawkeeper Rock follows close behind. An explosion shatters the windows of your apartment. Holy, it was a bomb, setting off car alarms all around the block. A raging fire blazes within. You quickly dial 911, then enlist the help of Lawkeeper Bot and neighbors to douse the flames with a bucket brigade while waiting for help to arrive, but it's too late. One by one, you see your possessions inside crack and burn while the flames near the front door prevent you from entering. You call Ellie, who arrives slow shortly after the fire department does. I'm really sorry, Ellie says. The firemen spray what remains of your apartment. You don't deserve this. Yeah, you say. You're welcome to stay at my place tonight. Thanks. You sigh. You know, fame isn't all it's cracked up to be. Ellie looks ready to say something about that, but pauses, instead saying, maybe we can talk about that later. Uh-oh. Sounds like a prelude to the breakup talk. Whatever that means, it can't be good. One by one, reporters start to show up in their local news vans, setting up cameras that stream video of your destroyed apartment to the internet, plus fame. You're pretty certain that the bomb was sent by Tammy, who sent you that death threat. Will you respond in kind? Yes, tonight is payback time. No, the jazz concert will go on as planned. I think I'd rather start moving what's left of my stuff to Ellie's place if she's okay with that. Interesting. What do you guys think? Fame 3 were a local celebrity. He's matching up the military. Ellie's the president. I can't believe it was actually a bomb. The Jazz Hands concert will go on. The Jazz Hands concert must continue. I get that's what I mean, Buzzer. I felt like it was the most obvious bomb, so it couldn't be. You know what I mean? I was like, that's too obvious, so it won't be. And then everyone's like, no, it actually was. Yeah, it was a bomb. It was a bomb, all right. Oh. It's all about that moving with Ellie. If you expect it to be a bomb, it's a bomb. That's a good question, Zcat. You know, that may very well be the case. Because this game is very, very good at making it seem like when you choose something, that it was tied into what actually happened. So it could very well be different. It is then. Conjure's game's cool. Yeah. Yeah, it is very. You're right about that, Zcat. They are very good at making it seem that way. So. Alright, I think the will of chat is pretty clear here. Alright. Ellie seems quite happy to let you move in for a while and cheerfully helps you move your stuff. That night, you go to the jazz concert in the park with Ellie. You can tell she's enjoying the upbeat, brassy music. She gets up to swing dance with you during a few of the numbers. But you can tell something is troubling her, and you ask her what's on her mind. I don't know if you've been following your own coverage in the popular media, she says uncomfortably, but there's this sketch comedy show at TGIFF. They did a skit about you last night. It's been making the YouTube rounds. Someone at work showed it to me. You sigh. I guess it portrayed me as some kind of mad scientist, right? Ellie hesitates. Someone was playing me in it too, she says quietly. Oh. I mean, they don't really know anything about me, but I guess they know what I look like, so they made fun of that, Ellie says unhappily. And in the skit, I'm like this idiot who doesn't realize that you're actually spending all your time with Lawkeeper Bot, who's like your sex bot. Lawkeeper Bot's like a child, you say, not a sex bot. Anyway, I was wondering if you could maybe stay out of the limelight a little more, Ellie says. I'd like to be seen for who I am, not as your satellite. I'm sorry, I'll do everything I can to stay out of the limelight from now on. Fame is not what it's cracked up to be. Well, I can't really help it if people write stories about me, but I promise not to actually seek out any more attention. I can't promise that. I'm going to be even more famous, I just know it. If you can't accept that, we won't be a good match for each other. Oh, wow. Then we may as well be in this together. Come work for me. Step all the way into the limelight. We'll work wonders. Okay, that's the demonic professor right there. So, I'm sorry, I'll stay out of the limelight. I can't help it if people write stories, but I'll try. I'm not going to try to seek out more attention. I can't promise that I'm going to be famous. Get out of my way, lady. Or we'll be in this together. Come work for me and we'll work wonders, which is the insane over-the-top option. I was just thinking that. Join me and rule by my side. Screw our robot business. I think the problem with your statement, Bojora, is that if the second half of your sentence comes true, the first half of your sentence won't come true ever again. I'm just saying. Lower the bar for me. This is kind of interesting because right now, like, the don't look for more attention is kind of splitting the vote, whereas the join the dark side and rule the galaxy is been there, done that. I did not know that. I'm trying to think about that, Shadow. I'm not sure whether we can do a narrowed vote. I tell you what, if it turns out that the two stay out of the limelight thing, if those end up being, I mean, if they win by, not like a huge margin, but if they win by a few votes, then we'll have another narrowed vote. But if we don't do that, if they're like tied or close, then I feel like then enough people wanted to join the dark side and rule the galaxy that we'll go with that option. Red hot option. What's this part? She wore her spurs to bed. That's troubling. I kind of like the glasses in the distance here. You can't believe you chose one to do. I saw the dark side, I couldn't resist it. No, man. It's true. Yeah, it's true. Well, I really like these games. I mean, obviously, you know, the focus of the channel, I still do prefer the Fighting Fantasy game book side because I like the fact that you've got combat, you've got, you know, luck and dice rolling and other things involved. I do like having some graphics to work with and stuff like that, so I wouldn't want to do this particular type of game, like Choice of Robots, as a steady diet, but I think it's a really interesting, I don't know, it's really well written and it's interesting to kind of see the branching going. It's kind of cool. Yeah, I've heard really good things about that movie, Beljour. I was reading some reviews of it that were really high up there, so. Alright, join the dark side it is. Join me. Ellie hesitates, considering her proposition. Finally, she nods. Alright, she says. In for a penny, in for a pound. She takes your hand and holds it. Holy crap, it worked? It freaking worked? She's like, yeah, I'll be your celebrity buddy. Whoa. What the crap? I can't believe that worked. Join me. She also wanted the dark side. The next day, you get a call from your mother. Oddly, she chooses not to use video at all. Beef, I have some bad news for you, she says, and there's a heaviness in her voice that you've never heard before that fills you with dread. You are completely unprepared for what comes next. Your father passed away last night. Ooh. Your father's funeral is a simple graveside affair with just a few attendees. The casket is sitting on a metal gurney next to the hole into which it will eventually be lowered after everyone is gone. There were no trappings of any faith since your father was not religious himself, nor did he have many close friends, but the ones you know came. You find yourself sitting in the front row next to Lawkeeper Bot, who was not explicitly invited, but was not explicitly prohibited either. Lawkeeper Bot fidgets constantly, and you have to place a hand on it more than once to get it to sit still. Your mother, wearing a black dress and veil, goes up to stand next to the casket. It's not often that my English degree comes in handy, as Bill would be quick to point out, she says with a wry smile. But on a few occasions I find that on my own words seem sufficient. So I'd like to begin with a favorite passage of ours. She begins, Full fathom 5 thy father lies, to everything there is a season, Or do not despise death, but be well content with it. Wow, that's cool. This is deep, deep. It's really interesting. Fair is foul and foul is fair. Yep. Really interesting to everything. I don't know though, Bourgeois. Do you think if we answered the call, it would have meant that he wouldn't have died? Or if we answered the call, it would have changed that up? It's really funny. It really makes. I guess there's like, I heard there's like 27 different endings to this, and there's like so many branching options. Robots bring dead back from the grave. Like they like bury his body. They turn him into a robot. No. Okay. To everything there is a season, and a time to every purpose under heaven. A time to give birth and a time to die. A time to plant and a time to uproot. A time to kill and a time to heal. A time to tear down and a time to build. A time to weep and a time to laugh. A time to mourn and a time to dance. One of the most famous line series of, I think it's a psalm from the Bible, and also a song later on. To everything, turn, turn, turn. There is a season, turn, turn, turn. And a time to every purpose under heaven. The birds. Mom clears her throat. Bill was never one for religion, so I feel a little guilty quoting Ecclesiastes over him. But I'd like to think he would agree with the sentiment that this, too, is the natural way of things. When he talked about his fainting spells and then strokes, he always seemed relatively calm about it. When it's time to go, it's time to go, he said. Meanwhile, I don't want everyone to worry about me. Bill wanted you to take advantage of your time to laugh. You could mourn him later. And now that he's gone, it's right for us to be sad. It's also right for us to one day laugh again. You glance at Lawkeeper Bot, who seems very interested in this idea that there is a time and place for everything, plus grace, plus empathy. You sit through a few more of your father's friends giving recollections of him. He was brilliant, they say, but you also get the feeling he was not always there for his friends, that he was lost in his own world. They never say he was kind or that he was full of love. Indeed, he always seemed distant to you as well. After the service, you walk up to your father's casket and place your hand on it. What have you resolved to do in light of his death? I must work on technology that is better able to remove tumors like the one Dad had. I must not be remembered only for my intellect, but for my kindness as well. I must find out more about why Dad died and whether I'm genetically at risk. Moved by the quote from Ecclesiastes, I decide I must remember to experience everything life has to offer. Wow. That's no joke, people. Stop the birds. It's a tough one. I think I would want to be remembered. I think it'd be two, not just for intellect, but also kindness. and also quote from Ecclesiastes. I think I'd be all about 2 and 4. Well, you could do all of them, frankly. I would like to do 2, 3, and 4. I wouldn't be able to do 1 because it's not where I'm, not my expertise. 2, 3, 4, yeah. Ithorg. You can't hear me at all because I'm quiet. I just realized you wouldn't know. Okay, I got you, Thor. Alright, thanks, Thunder. Yeah, like I said, I'm in quiet mode. You can't type and eat at the same time. I mean, actually killed at the moment, that wouldn't freak me out because I would assume that either my wife or my daughter had somehow come over. But if that had happened yesterday, last night, when no one else was in the room, then I'd be freaked out. Right there's your answer, Ghost. I'm in Boston in a hotel room. My wife and daughter are about 3 feet from me, so I'm still at the convention until Sunday. And they came up today via train to meet up with me, so I spent a lot of time with the family today. But I'm having to be super quiet. So. But thanks for coming, dude. Our box is doing awesome, dude. The only thing I don't like, or the only thing I need to fix right now, besides the fact I wish the video capture was better, the window capture options are better. I managed to make it work, but other than that, the only thing I'm not happy, Five Nights at Arzatana, the only thing I'm not happy about is the mic setup. Because the little mini mic that I have that goes with my headphone thing is not good. So I need a dedicated portable mic. Because the one I have at home is not portable, at least. So, sure, because sneaky infinite because of this. That's why. But I need a good portable computer mic. I actually went looking for one today. I was in the mall near where the hotel is, and I looked at like 3 different places. No dice. So. Okay. Kindness it is. I thought about the only problem I have with that though, Kill, is that I really would like an analog mic because I have a number of friends that have gotten Snowballs and or Yeti mics, and the USB is a pain in the ass to deal with. The drivers half the time don't work and it causes issues. So I'd rather have a microphone, maybe that like gets power through USB, but I'd really like to have an analog option. That's the only problem with the Snowball and the Yeti mic, but I'm definitely going to look into that though. Either way, I wasn't able to get it like at a store. They didn't have it. So. You realize that you take after your father, often too absorbed in your own projects to look out for the people around you. You resolve that from this point forward that you will strive to be more mindful of how you can serve others. You decide not to let Dad's passing deter you. You have decided that the surest way to change the world is with your own company, and indeed, Thundercake Tech will have far-reaching impact, starting with Josh, who texts you a short message the day you're first covered in the Wall Street Journal, plus fame. Fine, it is on. Chapter 4, Captains of Industry. Oh, snap. Yeah, she is a pretty cool game. When I first told her, I was like, oh yeah, I brought this up, and she said, well wait, how are we going to do this if we're also in the room? And I was like, I don't know. So, all right, let's take a look at our stats. Humanity, 89%. Fame, 4. Local celebrity, 13. Grace. Autonomy and empathy balanced at 8. And being a military, 7. Professors either in a bad relationship, but screw that guy. We have a 78% with Ellie, so we're great there. Bad relationship with Josh, 45%. Bad relationship with Mark, 45%. Bad relationship with Tammy, 21%. A year later, you find yourself on a flight to your first meeting with a big client. You're 26 years old, and the year is 2021. The past year has been one of hard lessons for your business, and you've often found yourself wondering if you would have made the same mistakes if you had learned to run a business from Josh. Regardless, you hope to prove to yourself that you've overcome your lack of experience by landing this big deal. Well, we kind of told him he wanted to make Lawkeeper Bot more military, and we basically tried to tell him to kick him to the curb. And so he got pissed off, and he got rid of us, he expelled us basically from the grad school program. So, in the aisle seat, Ellie is fiddling with 3D models of Lawkeeper Bot on her tablet computer. Who is your big client? Spark Incorporated, maker of flying cars, Rudolph Ventures, a shipping company working the newly melted North Pole, Galen Medical, a company specializing in surgical equipment, or a man in Shanghai who wants to negotiate the import of 10,000 robots. What's it going to be? Spark Incorporated, Rudolph Ventures, Galen Medical, or a man in Shanghai? Who's our big client, guys? They hit 6 months. Whoopee. Medical bot with free will. Five votes for surgical equipment. I like how you guys are being consistent though, because the decision we made was to be the hell off my screen, bug. The decision that we made was to be more empathetic and more kind to people. And so the idea that you guys seem to be leaning towards the surgical equipment thing makes sense. And then a couple of you just want to have a flying car. I like how you guys are like, I don't want to do anything related to climate change. For Baymax Big Hero, so okay. So I think she might have Beljora, right? Because she became my first employee, I think. A medical bot with free will. Game, do you not remember when Luke Skywalker is almost killed in Cloud City? The last thing we see in Empire Strikes Back, almost the last thing, is him in sort of being suspended in medical fluid, attended to by a medical robot. On the Enterprise, on Star Trek Voyager, the main medical guy is a freaking hologram. So there's precedent. That's what I'm saying. What could possibly go wrong? How did you fund your company? Some small companies are run entirely out of pocket, but even small, unforeseen expenses can cause a company to go out of business. Independently wealthy entrepreneurs like this option because they get to keep all the profit and still grow still wealthier. But most companies choose to either take out loans, which requires paying the loans back eventually, or selling shares in the company to venture capitalist backers, which reduces the potential profit but spreads the risk amongst their investors. I like how one of the choices here is a choice that we can't pick because we don't have Wealth 1. That's interesting. So we've got two choices. I took out a big loan to start Thunder Cake Tech, or I financed the company by selling shares in it. So did we take out a big loan, or did we finance the company by selling shares? I actually have a good friend who did my website, who I actually coached in debate back in graduate school, who runs a company called Active Frequency, and I'm wondering about what he would think about this. Get this goddamn bug off the screen. But the bot, though, is designed to help humanity, not the planet. We just don't create a bot, and we just don't let him get access to Greenpeace videotapes, that's all. I'm sure it's fine. 9 for loan, 4 for shares. Okay. I think it's interesting though about this, like, requires Wealth 1 stuff, that it could have an option. Okay, this is ticking me off. Stupid bug. Go away, bug. What's wrong with that? But if I kill the bug, the problem is I can't. Excuse me a minute. Bug situation is eliminated. I was really worried about breaking the monitor. I want to be like, I don't know. Okay. So loan it is. Your loan is large enough that you could build a factory later on. Plus, 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 plus wealth. Wow. We are like super wealthy. Yeah, man. Well, I got the, you know what's funny? I got the, I thought that I got the high level, like gold quality internet, but then they said that I was already like, that they couldn't find any charges that had been made to me, and they said that I was getting the regular standard internet. So I don't know what that means, but anyway, now I'm not using wireless because they have an Ethernet connection, so I'm using the Ethernet connection for obvious reasons. But yeah, I mean, I've dropped some frames, you know, through the course of the night, but I think from what you guys can tell, I mean, not that there's like a big graphical push here, because right now it's just like me on the video camera and chat and this, so it's not like a big stretch. So we'll see if we get a chance to play Hand of Fate on this, how that works out, but we'll see. It is, right, to Radical? It totally is, yeah. I think it was Shadowed Mage who suggested, I can't remember if it was Shadowed or Dragonspear who suggested Machinary was a good idea. You open, the bank wants to see a contract with a big client soon to confirm that your business plan is sound or it will come to collect early. You open your laptop and go over your presentation slides. The diagram showing the latest model of LawKeeper Bot doesn't have anything to give the audience a sense of its current scale. To give the audience a sense of size, you drop in a picture of a Hobbit. Lawkeeper Bot hasn't changed in size since I built it. Bill Gates. Lawkeeper Bot is the size of a human now, so that models of its type are better equipped to perform human tasks. Or a Rancor monster so big it couldn't fit on the plane. Great. This is great, man. I love this. This is so funny. Disposable income. Means he's as big as a hobbit. So 5 people have voted for human, 2 votes for human, 1 vote for monster. Also simple as well. Right, exactly. They're like, just to give you a sense not only of his size, but also his bling. Rokusho from Metabot. Do you have a picture that you can link, Shadowed? I don't know that reference. Who is Rokusho? A hobbit is like a child size, you know, like 7-year-old child size. The thing is, too, didn't we give him the Venetian mask? So he's like Vega, but with that. Oh. Hmm. Yeah. I could see that. Hey, what's up, Polar? Hey. I don't want to keep this up there because it's not my image. Somebody else did this, but it's interesting. Hmm. Interesting. Okay, let's go. We're talking human-sized. Looks like. Okay. Gunvorl from Robotics. I thought a little bit about thought a little bit about, hold on a second, YouTube ad. Skip. I thought a little bit about one of the robots from Xenogears. You know, I was thinking maybe one of the robots from Xenogears might have that sort of feel. Oh, whoops, I already closed it. Sorry. Okay. I love these. I love these choices. It's pretty cool. Okay. Human-sized. He celebrated Lawkeeper Bot's first birthday with a new body the size of a human adult. Lawkeeper Bot has since appeared to take more responsibility to think for itself and appears more fearless. Plus autonomy, plus military. However, you sometimes miss how cute it was as a little thing, minus empathy. It's also a little bit less steady when it walks, minus grace. Okay, I have 2 proposed improvements on Lawkeeper Bot's design for you, Ellie said. Which one do you think we should go with for this presentation? Yes, it does, Thor. Ellie hands you the tablet computer she's been fiddling with. Side by side, there are 2 3D models that you can rotate and zoom with your fingers. One is sleek and has an Apple-style look to it. Your prototype's hacked together wooden parts have been replaced with a smooth white plastic shell, reminding you of Eve from WALL-E. The joints remind you of an armadillo shell. The other design is somewhat more startling because it's a model of a smiling woman. You uncheck the Tiki box for the skin layer to reveal Lawkeeper Bot's original wooden frame, along with Ellie's annotations for where the fake skin will be attached. Lawkeeper Bot's wings are preserved, but rather than the thin membranes of your previous design, Ellie's design is the wings sporting a rainbow of feathers like a phoenix. You're impressed. Both forms are remarkable in their own right, and they also appear to be sound from an engineering point of view. Wow, you say. Sorry it's so last minute, Ellie says, but they're done before the meeting like I promised. Let's go with your first design, Ellie, the sleek one. Let's go with your second design, Ellie, the human-like one. Sorry, Ellie, I like Lawkeeper Bot the way it is. Tread carefully here, Chad. Okay, and some proposed improvements. I-Law. I-Law. That's good stuff. Wow, nice though. Ellie's a robot and also Magneto in disguise. Six to 5, sleek over human, like wow. Yeah. It's really interesting. Plot twist, you were a robot made very late, Father. For some reason, the movie AI was coming to mind. I was thinking about AI quite a bit, and Data a little bit from Star Trek Next Gen. His nickname is the Bulldozer. Really, Thorg? Really? Bulldozer? Bulldozer. Yeah, for sure. Like, that's, yeah, exactly. I was thinking the same thing, yeah. Yeah, someone else was talking about Ex Machina and really liked it. I know you said you liked it, Kill Knight, but I think I heard someone else talking about that too. Okay. So, Sleek it is. Whoops, what did I just do? Okay. Alright, Sleek. The ghost of Steve Jobs is giving the thumbs up for this one, you say, pointing to the white streamlined design. Thanks, Ellie says. I was going for an Apple-like look, but they never really had to deal with human joints. I hope they don't look too weird. They look great, you say, and you mean it. Plus, Grace. I fought the Isla on the Isla one. Ellie grabs a few screen captures of the 3D model and sends them to you via local wireless so that you can update your presentation with them. The success of your presentation now seems even more urgent now that you can see the amazing improvements you could make to LawKeeper Bot if you had the cash. There, you say, and you turn to Ellie to get her opinion about a slide layout, but she is asleep. Deciding Ellie is the right idea, you close your laptop, nestle up against Ellie, and go to sleep. It's now the iLawKeeper Bot. No, okay, for sure, Kilobyte. That often is the case. In iRobot, actually 2 books, iRobot, about the horrific movie, but the amazing book, and also Do Androids Dream of Electric Sheep. I think both of those you end up sympathizing somewhat with the androids, especially in iRobot. A lot more of the robots come across as more sympathetic in a lot of ways. You find yourself in the lobby of Galen Medical, waiting for an audience with the Vice President of Engineering. The stylized caduceus behind the lobby's oval waterfall has an Art Deco look to it. It's the sort of caduceus a captain of industry would approve of. LawKeeper Bot walks back and forth nervously. Sorry again about having to check your LawKeeper Bot, you say. There's just no good alternative to flying for business travel. It was dark in there, LawKeeper Bot whimpers. There. The double doors to the Vice President of Engineering's office open, but instead of the Vice President of Engineering herself, it's a blonde-haired man in a black peacoat. We'll have some results for you by Saturday, he calls back into the Vice President of Engineering's office. We can discuss them after the barbecue. I assure you won't be disappointed by either the results or the meat. Without missing a beat, he walks up to you and introduces himself. Dennis Clark, Luminoso LLC, he says. We do text analytics and machine learning for medium-sized data. If you ever find yourself looking for new market opportunities, give me a ring. Your first sentiment analysis comes with a free barbecue. Come for the dimensionality reduction, stay for delicious meat. He offers his smartphone to you in the by now universal gesture for sharing digital business cards. You examine his card on your phone. Dennis Clark, co-founder of Luminoso LLC, Vericon charity auction winner of Cameo and Choice of Robots. Oh, so this guy must have contributed somehow to Choice of Robots and got a cameo, I guess? What kinds of machine learning do you do? Got any tips? Hey, do you have any advice for a startup? Or you seem to be a smart guy. What is the secret to cooking delicious meat? What's your choice, guys? What kinds of machine learning do you do? Do you have any advice for a startup? Or you seem to be a smart guy. What's the secret to cooking delicious meat? And there's a critically important question. delicious meat. I'm already brilliant and have a female Sith in tow. Give me business advice. It's terrifying with it's catching off the top of my mustache. This would be awesome. Her name is Beef. I'll bring that to number 3. That's true. First name is Beef. Three votes for machine learning, 3 votes for startup, and 5 votes for delicious meat. 6 votes for delicious meat. I wonder if he's actually going to see that as like a slam. You know, I wonder if he's going to be like, "What are you trying to say?" The beat is this words. It's code. Right, beef is actually short for before, yeah, or something. Okay, delicious meat it is. This would be sarcastic, delicious meat. Dennis seems surprised that you should ask, but he says, delicious meat needs to be cooked very, very slowly. Barbecued over the course of a day, not an hour. Like a startup, it requires patience. You are fairly certain this simple tip will lead you to have a happier life overall. I wonder if the game is being sarcastic with this. Now, if you'll excuse me, I need to go call my wife and discuss how we're going to solve the world's economic problems, or at least solve what's wrong with economics. Dennis departs. Hey, I've helped with that charity auction, Ellie says, looking over your shoulder at the digital card. They raise money for a lot of good causes and auction off some really unique stuff. She looks after Dennis speculatively. Well, what's choice of robots, I wonder? It's so meta, I can't stand it. The Vice President of Engineering will see you now, the receptionist says. The Vice President of Engineering of Galen is an old woman who claims that PowerPoint is rotting the brains of executives everywhere and insists on reading something printed out. You hand her your business plan and she dons her old, horn-rimmed glasses to read it. When she gets to your revenue section, she chuckles a little. I will let you in on a little tip, she says, because you are young and cute and because I'm retiring in 2 weeks. Yes, we are going to turn around and sell these for 100 times what you were charging here, so you may as well charge us more. You're a little stunned as you work out the implications. You're going to charge $100 million a robot? And that's cheap, she says lightly. Medical equipment is expensive. If you've been selling robots for any less, you probably didn't get buyers because they thought it was junk and mentally added the price of a lawsuit. When she studies your stunned expression, she adds, oh, I could sit here and talk for hours about how the economics of this business is broken because of insurance and Medicare and so forth. That's not really what you're here for, is it? Ellie gives you a look askance. I think what we're here for is changing the world, ma'am. This technology would have more impact if it were available to more people around the world. Will you raise your prices to what the Vice President of Engineering suggests? 1. Hell yes, let's be rich. 2. Let's get Galen to agree to sell the robots to hospitals at a more affordable price. Or 3. Wait, she said her price was on the cheap side, let's increase the prices further. Oh boy, that'll go over well. So let's be rich, get Galen to sell the robots to hospitals at a more affordable price, Well, let's increase the prices further. What's the... Exactly, Bill. Do it for the kids, guys. Do it for the kids. Yeah. Do it for the kids. What? I was so... Okay, good, Kilbay. I was like, yes, and then somebody were like, be rich. I'm like, what? The kids? What about the kids? Here you go. You gotta think about the kids, man. Think about them kids. What's up, Zach? How you doing, man? I know. Exactly, tyrannical. I mean, we do have to pay back the bank, but I mean, we can figure that out. Yeah, there you go, game, right? Mostly it's a tax write-off. Okay. Yeah, but so far I feel like Ellie has generally been like the conscience of the game, right? I mean, I feel like for the most part, Ellie's been sort of giving us the kind of the positive, this is what you do for the good of humanity type of thing, to a certain extent. I mean, she also may be a little bit, high maintenance. I can't tell, but that's true. She's Sith, and always there are only two, master and apprentice. Okay, so robots affordably. There you go, Swanky. Exactly. I'm in this to change the world, not to maximize my profit, you say. I'd rather Galen agree to lower its prices. The vice president of engineering looks appreciative. I thought there wasn't anyone like you left in this industry. I can sign a contract like that, but there's too much risk to put cash up front. We'll do it, Ellie says, nodding to you. You can tell you've earned her respect with this transaction. You negotiate to a price that will be fair to the public, on the condition that you only see revenue once the bot starts selling. Oh boy, you better sell. With a deal in hand, you can now build a robot factory. Where do you plan to build your factory? Detroit, Michigan. I see a bunch of listings for factories dirt cheap, and they probably have a good labor pool for manufacturing. Shenzhen District, China. A common location for tech company outsourcing with cheap but skilled labor. Silicon Valley. I'll withstand the real estate sticker shock to have access to the most skilled engineers. Or Alaska, which is offering incentives to businesses willing to relocate to the coast near the newly melted Arctic Sea. Wow. So Detroit, Michigan, Shenzhen District, China, Silicon Valley, or Alaska. Oh, nice, Zach. I know, right, Thor? Gonna go with Detroit. Alaska. Good God. Isn't shipping gonna be a nightmare? Freaking... How kind of manufacturing can you get there? Hey, what's up, Moonlight Knight? Welcome back. Wow. 3 votes for... 3 votes Detroit, 3 votes China, 3 votes Silicon Valley, 3 votes Alaska. Well, well. Well, well. 3 votes for everyone. Everyone wants to go everywhere. So change from Detroit to Alaska. Okay. So Alaska's got 4 votes. Better have good incentives. Where's Chicago? Get that cheap Chinese labor. Do we really want cheap Chinese labor building our medical robots? I'm just saying, that's what we're doing. So right now, it's 4 votes for China, 4 votes for Alaska, because Shadow changed his vote. So 4 votes for China, 4 votes for Alaska. So we need someone to break that tie. Right now it's 2 votes Detroit, 4 votes China, 3 votes Silicon Valley, 4 votes Alaska. So we need someone to break the tie. Where's it going to be? I guess that's true. Yeah, it should totally be fine. Okay. Curious as Alaska. Alright, we're going to the land of Sarah Palin. Stars it is, or 3 choices ago. Bye, American. You fly to Anchorage with Ellie. You have a long chat with Ellie in which you talk about future plans with Thundercake Tech, as well as in your personal lives. I can see myself retiring early if we do well, Ellie says. I don't think I need much money to live on. Of course, it would be nice to have all the money that Bill and Melinda Gates have to give to charitable causes, but I don't want to keep putting off giving back to the world. The conversation comes around to the subject of children. Yes, I do want kids at some point, she says thoughtfully. I'm not ready now, but someday. It's something I've tried not to think about because I don't want to plan my life around them just yet. But I know it will be time all too soon to really decide. Alright, I'd certainly like to have kids myself. I think what can provide is enough of a child for me, but I don't really see why people have kids. They seem expensive and time-consuming. Tread carefully, chat. Tread carefully. Exactly right. I'd certainly like to have kids myself. I think Lucky provides enough of a child for me, or I don't see why people have kids. send me your children. Alright, we got 6 votes for kids, 0 for lawkeeper vote, bots my kids, 7 votes for kids, or don't like kids, 1 vote. Lawkeeper bot needs playmates, true. Moonlight Knight's like, no! Orca's like, yes. Lawkeeper bot doesn't poop himself. No, but it does say earlier on that he does trash the place. He does trash your house at one point. Not because he's angry, but just like doesn't understand. So he can create a mess. It is possible. Alright. Kids it is. It's an oil leak, probably. Ellie smiles. Good. I'm glad we're on the same page. You're glad you can talk to Ellie about such things. Life's big decisions seem a little less scary when you don't have to face them alone. You transfer in Anchorage, which is on the southern coast of Alaska, and head to Barrow, your final destination on the northern coast. The forests beneath you are flooded from rivers bringing extra snowmelt from the mountains, a sign that the world is getting warmer. As your plane needs Barrow, forested mountains give way to a white plain dotted with smoke-belching oil refineries. An Inuit man in a heavy blue windbreaker meets you at the airport to show you to the factory grounds. Remarkably, he gets you there with a dog team sled. You slide easily past the line of backed-up cars in the road. Ellie is clearly delighted by the dogs. Don't think from the dog team that we're primitive, the Inuit man says. That's true, Moonlight. If you desire to hire here, you'll soon have people from families who've been electricians and mechanics since World War II. The roads just haven't caught up to the auto traffic. We believe in the right solution for the job. Sometimes nature provides its solution. The factory itself is a few miles outside the city, still under construction by mostly Inuit workers. It's on the shore and it looks like they're constructing a dock as well. You'll be able to receive oil and materials directly from the dock, your guide explains.